Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Snapbacks and Bow Ties. My name is Michael Fabian, and today is Week 9. Week 9 in the NFL. Big shout out to Nicole Pellegrino for hooking me up with the Browns bow tie. She heard me on the podcast state I didn't have one. Next thing you know, I got one at the door. You gotta love the loving, caring, unity aspect of 2020 coming into full circle. Loving it. Loving 2020 and the unity that is going on in this world. Also, can't deny the fact, cannot give a shout out to my man Donnie Tankovich for hooking up the man cave with the Brutus the Buckeye. I mean, just in time for Justin Fields to win the Heisman, win us a national championship, and then most of all get that number one overall pick in the NFL next year. But we're not here to talk about all the wonderful things that people have done for me and promoting the brand and promoting the man cave, because thank you. We appreciate it all, and I'm glad that I have that type of support. But we're here to talk about betting, and we're here to talk about the NFL and Week 9 that's going on this week. So let's get right into it. You have the Giants and the Washington football team. The Washington football team is literally trying to establish an identity. They don't even have their own nickname yet. They're better than what their record displays, don't get me wrong. But they are not to where I think they're even close to being taken for real in the NFL. I like the Giants today. I think the Giants with Daniel Jones are trying to figure out their rebuild, and actually it's not going as bad as I expected it to be. You know, the Giants have been a very poor organization for the past 5 to 6 years, I believe so. Actually outranking the Browns in losses over that period of time, and the Browns had an 0-16 year that year. So I'm going to go with the Giants because I feel like they are moving along with their rebuild better, quicker, and faster. Ron Rivera has that team shaping up with what it should be in the future, but not there yet. So I got the Giants +3. The Broncos and the Falcons. I hate West Coast to East Coast or East Coast to West Coast. I think the Falcons, like I told you 2 weeks ago, are better than what their record displays, just like the Washington football team. And they're going to be a top 15 draft pick. They're not going to fall into the top 10 because they will find wins. They just find them. You know, people just tend to find things nowadays. So the Falcons -4 seems like a very, very good pick coming up this week. I could be dead wrong. They could be up 16 in the fourth quarter. Next thing you know, we fall asleep and they're down by 4. That's just how Atlanta works. The Bears and the Titans. The Bears are +6.5 right now, and I love that. Taylor Lewan's out of the game for the Tennessee Titans. It is out for the year. And I think that the Bears are going to be able to exploit that weakness in the Tennessee Titans line and get to Ryan Tannehill. I do believe Tennessee might be able to squeak it out, but 6.5 seems like a lot for me when they're missing such a key component to that offensive line in Taylor Lewan. So I'm going to go with the Bears +6.5. The Chiefs -10 against the Panthers. Patrick Mahomes is that Harlem Globetrotter. He could do anything at any point in time, any creative style that he wants to, and tear apart the league. I'm dumb to bet against Patrick Mahomes. That's why I'm not going to do it today. I got the Chiefs -10. They're 6-2 against the spread this year. They were number 1 last year against the spread. They're at home. I love the Chiefs, able to cover that 10-point spread. We have the Ravens and the Colts, one of the weirdest spreads of the week. You have the Ravens +1. Run it. Ravens. I think Phillip Rivers is holding the Colts back. I don't know if their defense is going to be enough to stop Lamar Jackson from scoring and allow the Colts to outscore the Baltimore Ravens. I have the Ravens +1. Don't be afraid to drop the money line on that one if you're feeling froggy. Lions in Minnesota. I was very much high on Matt Patricia because I was expecting him to do the things that Brian Flores is doing in Miami, and I've not seen that happen yet. The Vikings seem to be surging after last week, so I'm going to have to go with the Minnesota Vikings. The games in Minnesota, the Lions have struggled on the road, so I go Minnesota -3.5. The Seahawks and the Bills. For me, this is easy money. I'm going the Bills +3. In Buffalo, against a Seahawks defense that has not proven themselves, far from the Legion of Boom that we once knew and loved, I got the Bills +3 in Buffalo. And I'm going to be grateful. I'm hammering. Texans at Jacksonville. Texans are pretty much tanking. I mean, but so is Jacksonville in a sense. I think 6.5 is a lot to give a team that is not that good, and especially on the road. So I'm going to give Jacksonville, they're plus 6.5. I'm going to give them the nod to take that pick. Stay away from it. Two bottom tier teams fighting to lose. I think the Texans are just worse. The Raiders and the Chargers are going to kick off the 4 o'clock game. The Chargers are 5-2 against the spread this year. It's in LA, which we all know that's not realistically a home game for even if there was fans at the game. So I'm going to go with the Chargers because I like Justin Herbert, and I'm hoping that the Raiders lose so that my Browns are able to climb up in the AFC playoff picture. But I do, unbiased aside, I do have the Chargers -1. The Dolphins and the Cardinals. The Cardinals -6. Kyler Murray. That's simple. They're both 5-2 against the spread. The Dolphins and the Cardinals are very good against the spread this year. I mean, the Dolphins have shocked the shit out of a lot of people, including myself, who expected them to make the leap with Brian Flores in his second year. But I didn't expect this much of a leap. They have nobody. Not one person on their defense is over the age of 30 years old. That's crucial. But I don't think they have enough. And I don't think Tua's experienced enough to go into Arizona and play that defense and, number one, outshine Kyler Murray. I got the Cardinals -6. This is crazy. Imagine a game where the Steelers and Cowboys are playing and the spread is 14. Yes, the Steelers are favored by 14 in Jerry World. That's unheard of. But Pittsburgh is 6-1 against the spread. They have easily placed themselves at the top of the NFL, if not the top of the NFL this year. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers covering the 14-point spread against the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. Jerry, I hope you liked that game last night. Justin Fields looked phenomenal. 4 incompletions. And then finally tonight, the juggernaut, the game of the week, the Saints and the Buccaneers. Drew Brees and Tom Brady. An NFC South rivalry like no other. The Saints have been underperforming this year against the spread nonstop. They are 2-5 and they're 1-2 on the road. The Buccaneers are 4-4, so they're a 500 club. They're just like me when it comes to the spread. I love it. I'm gonna ride with the Buccaneers because they're closer to me than the Saints, and they're 2-1 at home against the spread. I love Tom Brady in big games. I'll take Tom Brady in big games any day of the week. So there you go. There you have it. My Week 9 NFL picks. Shout out to everybody that followed along and watched and is taking some advice from me. Follow along at SAB Podcast Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you go check out the podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, TuneIn. That's Snapbacks and Bow Ties. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Love you all.